Hey everyone, it's Chris Loud. Today I'm doing something that just makes me happy. Painting a pair of playful, colorful, totally imaginative, whimsical abstracts side by side. These are going to be somewhat similar in composition, but both full of bold shapes, little surprises, and all the fun, intuitive marks that make this style feel so lighthearted and magic. Before we dive in, I want to give a big thank you to Barbara and Steve for the recent Super Thanks donations. Your support really does make a difference and helps me keep making these videos, so thank you very much. So for today's demo, I'm working on two 5x7 sections of mixed media paper using a really vibrant mix of colors: Prussian Blue, Brilliant Yellow-Green, Naphthol Red, Mars Black, and Titanium White. Then I'm layering in all kinds of fun tools. My Sharpie gel pen, some Arrtx acrylic markers, some Posca markers, white water-based spray paint, and even a little charcoal. It's a whole kind of mixed media playground. These are just fun to use whatever you want and whatever you have. And at the end of this video, I'll show you a handful of other pieces I've done that I definitely call whimsical. Some sketches, some abstract paintings, and even some quick digital pieces, just so we can look at the full range of how whimsical can show up. So while I'm getting these colors down, let's briefly talk about what whimsical means in art, because it's not really a rigid style. It's more of a feeling. Whimsical it's playful, it's quirky, it's imaginative, it's the opposite of serious. It's those fun shapes that we feel like they came from somewhere between doodling and daydreaming. It's the way color pops where you didn't expect it to. It's loose outlines, wonky forms, little patterns and marks that feel almost childlike in in the best possible way. So you can see I'm using these three colors to my advantage, and I'll keep putting these colors down in some of these shapes and adding layers. And again, I will bring in some acrylic markers to enhance those colors a little bit. But these three colors will give me a wide range of different colors that I can play with by just mixing. Sometimes I'm mixing on the palette, and a lot of times you'll see I'm just putting paint down on top of each other and blending it right there on the page. And the cool thing is, whimsical looks completely different depending on who's making it. Some artists think of whimsical as, soft, dreamy shapes. Others think of it as bold outlines and bright colors. Some see creatures or characters. And some go super abstract, but keep things lively with pattern and movement. There's no right whimsical. It's whatever feels imaginative and joyful and free to you. One reason I love doing paintings like this is because they instantly help me loosen up. There's no pressure to make something realistic or perfect. They're just, reactions. We're just reacting to color and shape and letting the painting kind of entertain us as we go. And working this way is such a great, it's a great mood booster. Something about mixing bright color with playful shapes just pulls us out of our heads and puts us into that creative flow where time disappears a little. It happens to me all the time where I'm painting. I look at the clock and I think, wow, I had no clue I'd been sitting here and just playing, because I was having so much fun just almost doodling. It's one of the quickest ways I know to get unstuck, is to just sit down and do something like this. And because Whimsical abstracts are naturally intuitive. They become little warm-up paintings all on their own, helping us shake off perfectionism and just enjoy painting. So here I'm starting to work in some of these Arrtx acrylic markers and using a very small filbert brush to help blend that in with the first layer there. What I like about the Arrtx markers is a lot of paint comes out of the tip. I typically use those for splashes of color like this, and I use my Posca markers more for hard edges and lines, which I'll be using in this as well. Or I guess I should say I have been using some in this with the Posca markers. So I'm going to bring in some just kind of DIY stencils. I think this is from some socks I bought. I've used this in another video as well. But it just has a great pattern as a stencil. So I'm going to use this white water-based spray paint and get some texture down on this one. And the other one I'm using another DIY. I think this was for little silicone bumpers that I put on frames. But I hang on to all sorts of things that we might throw away because they just have such great patterns that I can use a spray paint with. I can use a dabbing sponge on it to make patterns. However you use a stencil, they're great tools like that. So wanted to start getting in some patterns in this as well. And when it comes to style, these types of abstracts are kind of all over the place in a good way. Some artists go for rounded bubble-like shapes. Others use long wavy forms and sometimes almost creature-like silhouettes. Some lean more graphic with bold black lines and bright flat colors, and others go layered and painterly with softer blends. And then there are those of us who are pattern lovers. I obviously like patterns, dots, stripes, little stenciled shapes, scribbles, grids, really you name it. We can take bits from each of these approaches and kind of mash them together, and in whatever way feels fun. And that's really kind of the magic. Whimsical abstracts are basically permission to play. They don't need to follow any rules or match reality. They just need to feel lively and imaginative. So you can see I've got some paint that I was obviously not being very careful. Typically, I'm not real detailed and careful when I'm painting. I'm just slinging paint all over the place. So I came in and cleaned up a few areas there with a white Posca marker just to make some of those white areas a little more crisp. So the more we practice this loose, playful style, the more confident we get with composition and color. We start trusting our instincts and we start taking bigger risks. And, we stop getting stuck in all that should I or shouldn't I stage. Whimsical abstracts give us room to make a mess and try things and cover things and revive things. And it's just fun. It's a freeing way to work. And honestly, I think it keeps painting feeling joyful. When you're painting like this, you just can't help but smile. So here in a minute, I'll show you a handful of other whimsical pieces, some sketchbook pages, some mixed media, some digital, just to show how differently this style can look depending on the day, the mood, and the tools we reach for. And as always, if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. And if you have any feedback or questions, I'd love for you to leave me a comment. And thanks again to Barbara and Steve for their super thanks support. So I'm going to show you some close-ups of the first piece here, and I'll show you the final, and I'll show you close-ups of the second, and then I'll show you those additional pieces. So here's some close-ups of that first piece on the left, and I'll show you the final piece in different orientations. And it's just a fun, quirky piece, and I really enjoyed playing with this. And same with the sister piece next to it. More close-ups of that second piece here. And that charcoal just gave a little bit more form and definition to both of these pieces. But again, just fun. So here are some other pieces, some digital artwork that I do on my phone, on an app. And they're all kind of fun and quirky. Here are some that I've done videos for that you might have seen. But I consider all of these to be somewhat whimsical. A sketch that was kind of related, I think, to those two. Now this piece on the left I had, this was the first year I started painting, and I was painting some beans. And they were black and white, and I started thinking as I was painting these, they kind of look like killer whales. So I kind of played with that a little bit. I didn't put fins or anything on it, but that's what I had in my mind. So I made the background blue and just played with that a little bit. And the one on the left here I know I have a video on, but some more sketches and just kind of rough, playful things. So thanks for watching, and keep on painting.